Hi everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope that you had a lovely Christmas as I did with my family and looking forward to the new year as well. So there is another quick turnaround this game week for FPL. On Saturday the 30th at 11 o'clock is the next deadline, so get your team finalised and sorted out. It's a bit to look at on my team. The game week didn't go that well, but let's have a look at it. So game week 19 was a bit, a bit meh for me. Started off looking like it might be pretty good. Had reasonable returns because I have Darwin who managed 8 points and Trent who has been brilliant. He's been so good that people have started bringing him in. Remember at the start of the season when 8 million was a ridiculous price to pay for him. People now bring him in. He's playing really well. He's passing the ball brilliantly. I mean, he's a great player, and he's a really exciting one to own. So the game week started okay, apart from Salah blanking, and then it just didn't get any better after that. Dubravka and Trippier, you know, the 3 points between them, with a lovely 10-pointer Areola sitting on the bench. I think that's 2 game weeks in a row that Areola has scored a lot of points after kind of specifically bringing in Dubravka so that I wouldn't have to play Areola anymore because he hasn't really got me any points since I've owned him. I mean, both are very, very cheap. That's why I've got them, and that's why I can afford some extravagant defenders in my team. Yeah, and then Colwill 1 pointer. In fact, he didn't even. I think he came off on the 59th minute. So, so did I think did Richarlison? No, he came off about the 65th minute and with a yellow card, so he couldn't even get 2 points either. He managed 1 point. Colwell's been kind of disappointing. He's especially as it was between bringing him in and Porro. I mean, it would have meant some of the other moves that I did couldn't do if I done that. But I know people. So if you captain Son, I don't think you were quite as disappointed because you managed a 5 pointer as compared to Salah. But and Porro, both of those players managed to sneak an assist towards the end of the game. A lot of goal scorers last night that I didn't recognise. So kind of some different players in there. And wasn't expecting a 4-2 victory for Brighton last night. So some different options to look at for the team going forward. Obviously, I didn't put the order correctly in my team. I thought I had done, but it didn't really matter because Palmer obviously swaps out for Saliba. And Arsenal, another disappointing one. So Arsenal losing that game last night to West Ham. So, yeah, it is what it is. Not a particularly brilliant game week. Some disappointments in there, but it could have been worse. I've seen a lot of people with even worse game weeks, maybe like 20 points. I've seen other people with more like 50, 60 game points for the game week. So if you had players like Huang and that, or Garnacho, then you were laughing really. But that it is what it is. So let's look at the game week 20 team. So as I say, quick turnaround here. I have been thinking about the team all the time. There are a lot of things to think about actually. So let's have a quick look at the team because we have. Well, at the moment I've got Dubravka in goal against Liverpool away. I could play Areola, Brighton home. Saliba playing Fulham away. Trent, Newcastle at home. Colwell, Luton away. Okay, so pretty reasonable fixtures there. But Son plays Bournemouth at home. Possible captain shout. Captaincy pretty difficult to choose this week. Salah, Newcastle at home. Richarlison, Bournemouth at home. Palmer, Luton away. He's on penalties. Luton a bit of an easier fixture. Possible captaincy shout. Well, all those midfielder players could be. Probably not. I'm probably not going to put it on Palmer, but one of those four. Darwin plays Newcastle at home. Watkins, Burnley at home. Jesus, Fulham away, and Gibbs White, Man United at home. Man United, bit of a surprise win against against Aston Villa. Garnacho scoring two fantastic goals. Looks like he's playing well. So not sure what to expect from that. And Forest look like they've improved a bit as well. Gibbs White is one of their key players, so I was thinking of maybe moving him on, but I'm not so sure now because I could even play him against Manchester United. It's not necessarily a bad fixture given the way they've defended. So could be that I bench Darwin. I've got two free transfers. I've got zero point 0.1 million in the bank, so I need to talk about what I'm going to be doing. Trippier Liverpool away. Trippier has been disappointing recently, as have Newcastle, and a lot of people looking at maybe moving him on, and he has pretty poor fixtures for the next three, and then it gets a lot better. So I don't really need to play him. I could keep him for a bit longer, and then play him. Then I would have him for the better fixtures. He's quite expensive though, and he did go down in price. I think he was 6.8 million, something like that now. So yeah, and he may drop in price further. Guahi, Brentford at home, last place on the bench at the moment. So yeah, that's the team. So my original plan for this week was to bring Haaland back in, and Haaland looks like he is not going to be available for this game week. I think Pepper said January, which is not very clear because January is 31 days long. So we don't know exactly when he's going to be back. It doesn't look like it's definitely not really worth bringing him back for two transfers, especially as that would involve taking Salah out. And so that's, but I have two free transfers and I don't have much money to play with. Don't want to burn a transfer. So looking at some of the things I could do, one of them is downgrading Trippier. Trippier has been really disappointing recently. I don't think he's returned I think it's about 7 games. And as I say, the fixtures are quite difficult for the next few because he plays Liverpool, Manchester City and Aston Villa. After that, it's not so bad. And and he's looked tired. He hasn't looked very good recently, but he is one of those players who can get bonus points and can play well, can be involved if he's playing well. Newcastle probably playing well, so I don't really need to move him on because I've got other players that can cover, and if I do move him out, it does give me a little bit of a benching headache. But there are some exciting players that I could bring in, and I've been thinking, Pedro Porro, a bit behind the curve. A lot of people have already got him in. He's a really exciting player. He's creating a lot. He seems to be creating a lot of assists, and I think he'll continue to do that. I don't think Spurs are necessarily going to keep many clean sheets. But if he ticks over on with assist points or with bonus or other bits and pieces, I mean, they let in 4 goals last night, and he still got 2 bonus. I think that right, or 1 bonus. So he got 5 points anyway, and I think he did get the assist, didn't he? So, yeah. So to do that, that's quite impressive, I suppose. Pedro Porro is an exciting one, and I could just do a downgrade Trippier to Porro. Not entirely sure who I'd bench in that situation because I've kind of got a bit of a benching headache there. And I don't know whether Spurs are going to keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth the way that Bournemouth are playing. Probably not. Anyway, the other one that I think a lot of people will quickly jump on the bandwagon with is Pervis Estepinian, and he played 45 minutes and scored a wonder goal, brilliant goal. He's the kind of player that you want in FPL, and just until you remember the fact that Brighton have not kept 1 clean sheet so far. How many games have they played? Is it 19? So no clean sheets. So, which is probably a bit of a problem. I mean, even Spurs have kept clean sheets. Even Manchester United have kept clean sheets this season. So, well, he is one that I'm looking at, and I do like bringing him in. I do think that looks really exciting. It's probably a trap, as I was saying on Twitter last night. It's definitely a trap to go for first opinion, and it's one that I'm likely to fall into. So one of those 2 moves could be the one I go for. I could do something else, of course. Now, obviously, I've still got half a mind to bring Holland back in at some point, so I kind of need to leave my route open to do that. I could move my Salah move out, which is how I would facilitate that forward. Which, and this sounds totally crazy, but I'm kind of thinking about. I'm not set on it, but I'm not totally ruling it out. Is that I move Salah out this week, and he's got a difficult fixture. Newcastle, is Newcastle a difficult fixture at the moment with the defensive injuries and things? I'm not sure, but and is Salah ever a bad player? No, not really. So I mean, he's even a captaincy shout, even given that he's playing Newcastle. So, saying all that, I could swap him out, and a player in order to bring Holland back in for the player I want to transfer out, which would be Darwin, in the future. I'd need someone about 6.4 million, and the one I'm looking at, believe it or not, is Pascal Gross. He's not going to the Asian Cup. He's not going to AFCON. He's always seems to play in that Brighton team, and he's quite often has an attacking role. He's on some set pieces, I think. He's always involved. I think he's a very good option, especially when you look at the fixtures going forward, particularly from game week 21. These, he's, he could be a really good one to own. And you can't go for Matoma, you can't go for Adingra because I think they're going to be away. I'm not sure if Adingra is injured actually. It was Matoma as well, but Matoma will be going to the Asian Cup. I think Adingra is going away. Is it Ghana he plays for? I can't remember. Anyway, so that's one player I could bring in. I could also do someone like Bowen or something like that. Saka, boring. Yeah, but I've not ruled out that move there. Another move I'm considering, and it would probably only be one of any of these moves that I'm discussing here, because I want to roll a transfer into the next week, give me that option to bring back Haaland should he be fit at some point, and give me a bit of flexibility. I've been managing my team up until this point with regards AFCON and Asian Cup, because in game week 21 a lot of those players will go away for those competitions. So the likes of Son, Salah, Mitoma, if he's fit, Huang, and well, I've mixed those two together there. I've got some African and some Asian players in, but those are some of the key players that you maybe have got. So luckily, I've only got the two key ones there, Salah and Son, and I may hold on to one, but I'm probably going to be without one, depending how long Holland is out for. And the other move that I could do is kind of a bit of a sideways move, but it's Gibbs White to Garnacho. Now Gibbs White's been playing better recently, and so have Forest. Man United have, well, they had one good game against Villa. Garnacho has been the standout player for them recently, and I think he's probably going to play going forward extremely cheap. And if I do this move, depending on how the prices have changed recently, it saves me about £1 million. So that's quite a good one. And I could play him, bench Darwin, and then look at doing something with Darwin next week, which would probably be Haaland in if we get news that he's fit. The other one, which I can't be bothered to make another graphic. Sorry, this is yeah. All these graphics take a little bit of time and things, but the other one that I could do is Alvarez in for Darwin. Kind of like a short punty one. If Haaland is out for a few weeks, Alvarez is obviously the penalty taker. He did score. I mean, and he'll be the centre forward. And if he's playing minutes for Manchester City, obviously he can be a great asset for. I hate that. I hate that word asset. I don't know why I said it, but yeah, he could be a great player to have and score a lot of points. So I'm not really sure which move to go now. I've got to make one move really, otherwise I'm burning a transfer, which I don't like to do. And so it might be one of the Trippier moves, although it gives me a benching headache. I'm not really sure. I think the one I'm preferring at the moment is Garnacho in for Morgan Gibbs White, but I could just play Morgan Gibbs White. Um, he's on set pieces. Is he on penalties? No, I think Chris Wood is on penalties. Yeah, so he's yeah he's definitely on corners, and I think he's on some other set pieces as well. And he's a threat. He's always seems like he's going to be involved in a lot of things with their team, and they have improved. Not sure which direction I go in. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.